Welcome to the Life and Sharing channel. Last week, I answered with the question, please tell me about yourself. In this week, I will present about the question, what are your weaknesses? To explain to all of you, to gain experience in future job interviews. This question sounds simple, but it is also difficult to answer if you do not know about tactical in answering this question. I still remember when I was an assistant manager, I applied to be a manager at a company and was asked this question. I was really nervous because I did not know how to answer this question, and I was not prepared to answer it. Which makes me lose confidence and answer all other questions not really well. I will bring this experience related to this question to share with all of you. But before we can answer this question well, you need to know the purpose for which they want to ask us. The first is to test our abilities. They want to know if we know ourselves well or not, know about our strengths and weaknesses, test our honesty. Want to know if we dare to tell our weaknesses or not. Because sometimes we do not really want to tell them, but if we do not know how to speak, or do not know how to answer this question when we are asked. In other words, they know that we are dishonest. The third purpose, when we tell the weaknesses related to our skills to the manager, they can evaluate that if they take us to work for, can they help to train us to fill the position they are looking for. Now we know the purpose for which they are asking us this question. Next point, you need to know that some answers that should be avoided whenever they ask us this question. The first answer that we should avoid is to answer that I have no weaknesses, or I do not know my weaknesses. Because when you answer that I have no weaknesses, it means that you are lying to yourself, and the employer, too. Employers also know that we are lying, because nobody is perfect. Everyone always has their own strengths and weaknesses, but if we answer that we do not know the weaknesses, it means that they cannot let us be a manager, because we do not know ourselves. If we do not know ourselves, this means that we cannot control the staffs. The second answer to avoid is the answer related to self-attitude. Because, when we have a problem with our attitude, nobody could help us to change or nobody can teach us. Because attitude cannot be correct. It is up to us. For example, if you are an employer or boss, you interview the staff, and the staff will tell you that he or she is aggressive. He is a violent person, you will not be able to get him to work. Because you do not know how to help him, and you do not know how to train him. Because it is his own personality, only he himself can control it. The third answer to avoid is to turn your strengths points into weaknesses. At this point, I see a lot of people are confused about this. I remember when I was at the supervisor level, I failed to answer this question. I tried to ask someone at a higher level. He advised me to turn my strengths into weaknesses. It was really hard to me to understand until I was trained by a professional human resources, and then I realized that it was not right to do that. For example, some people say that his weakness is that he is a hard worker. If he does not finish his work, he will not be able to go home. So, such an answer is useless. Because the employer knows that we do not understand the weaknesses, and we take the strengths as weaknesses. If the interviewer is a professional human resource, he will know that we copy the answers from others, and we do not understand the purpose of answering this question. The fourth point that we should avoid is to show points that related to the job description. For example, they apply for a sales and marketing manager, and their job description they need someone who has a good relationship with customers. But we still point out that we are the person who do not like to contact with other people. Do not like to meet customers. Mean that we are distracting employers to think that we are not suitable for the position they are seeking for. Now you know all 4 important points that you need to avoid in answering this question. What about the correct answer? How should we respond to this question? The correct answer, you have to tell about a specific situation where you have all been weak, then we have to tell about the effects we have on our weaknesses. Because, when we have weaknesses, it is certain that we will be affected by it. And talk about our improvement. For example, I am a candidate who is being interviewed, and they ask me this question. What are your weaknesses? My weakness is that I am the manager that trusts on my staff too much. Because whenever I assign the staff to work, I believe that they are responsible, and they can complete it on time. I do not want to follow up with them, because I feel that I will make them boring. I feel annoying at their time. But as a result, when the deadline came, I asked for their job. Some staff did not finish, some forgot to do the task, and some already did, but there are a lot of mistakes. Sometimes I have to do it myself, sometimes did it until late at night. And sometimes I get blamed by my boss for not being able to do it on time. Later on, I consider my weaknesses, then I realize that my weakness is that I do not follow up with my staff regularly. Immediately, I arranged a meeting with my staffs, and explained to them that all the work that I assigned for them, they need to send me the update every day, and every week. That time, I can see that it much better. Because, when they did not send me, I did not know how he work, and if he makes any mistakes, I can correct them immediately. I started to ask them if they had any questions, so that I can explain to them immediately. I can also make decisions in time to reduce mistakes. Since then, the boss began to like me, and I also very happy that I can improve all my weaknesses. Now I would like to explain to you each point in relation to my actual situation, when I assign the staffs to work. As for my weakness, I am a person who does not like to follow up with my staff, and the effect of that weakness is to make work slow down. Sometimes I need to work on myself, sometimes I have blamed by my boss. In this solution, I start meeting with my staff, and every time I assign them the tasks, they need to send the update daily and weekly. As a result, I can complete the tasks on time. Next week, I will highlight the strengths. What are your strengths?